What's up, everybody? Today I'll be showing you a modern house equipped with all sorts of proximity enabled command blocks that I spent the last 2 days working on. I think you're really gonna like this one. The proximity commands in the house give us automatic lighting. They give us a jacuzzi that you can turn on and off. There's also a dance floor that's similar but different from the dance floor we built in the last video. So why don't I stop listing those things, tell you real quickly about the design of the house, and then we can go walk right inside. As far as the design of the house, I can't say that I put a ton of thought into it. But if there's one thing that I thought about, is that the direction of the house in comparison to the sun plays a big role in how everything looks inside. And that absolutely becomes important when there's a shader. Because if I go and build the house facing the other way where there are no other windows, then the inside of the house will be completely dark. And then you'll also see how the shader plays a role in the basement where I have the coolest feature in this house. So let me stop talking about it right now and instead let's walk inside and see what everything is all about. First of all, we're going to have that automatic glass door at the very front. As you approach the door, it's going to open, and when you step away and walk out of the house, it closes back behind you. I really didn't mean for the sounds to be this creepy, but that was the closing sound playing first, and then it merged in with the opening sound. And the sounds I'm having it make are the beacon activate deactivate sound. So when they play repeatedly and together, it just sounds like this crazy effect. As you see, the inside of the house is very brightly lit, and this is what I meant when I talked about the orientation of the house and the shader. Because the sun is coming out from that direction, which I imagine is east, because I've set the time to early morning. And the other side, there's a wall. So if I had the house turned all the way around, it would be super dark in here. So I think this came out very nice. And I really still can't believe how nice this shader looks. And since this is supposed to be a house, obviously, I placed open and close buttons for this main door on the inside as well. So, you walk into your house, you have the option of closing the door. And then I chose the black glass because it just looks so awesome when it's closed. Look at how rich all the colors get right there. Okay, so let's take a peek into the first room in the house, which naturally has to be the bedroom because, I mean, let's face it, a house is not a house without a bedroom, especially in Minecraft because it's not like we have kitchens or living rooms or anything. Although, in this house, I do have something kind of like a living room or a banquet hall, but we'll get to that later. As for this bedroom, the circuits in here are very simple. There's a proximity enabled command block that pops out a bed and a nice little lamp. And there's another command block that also lights up the lights, giving us this nice automatic lighting effect. So the redstone blocks are placed behind the redstone lamps and they're actually in the other room, but no one can ever see them unless they're in that room while someone is in this room at the same time. So if you're touring the house alone, this is perfect. But if you're touring with someone else, it might freak them out or things might go crazy. So I haven't actually tried that, but it would be very interesting to see what happens there. The next room we're going to look at is the room right next to the bedroom. And this one really uses a lot of the same technology. The crafting tables pop out of the ground and you have the same set of lights turning on. I used it because I really wanted to have crafting tables pop out of the ground. So there really isn't much to be said about this room, but I really love walking in and out of it. This was the first one that I made, and I think I literally walked in and out like 50 times before I realized, okay, I'm done. Let's move on to another room. Okay, so the next room I'm going to show you is the dance floor room. You can call it a gym, you can call it whatever you like. It uses the same technology we used in the last video with the dance floor, except this one has a different mapping. Basically, there are command blocks that are underground right here, and they're triggering the redstone lamps which are perpendicular to them. It really isn't much of a difference. It's a hard-coded circuit, so it's not really that difficult to make. But if you want to learn more about it, I recommend you watch that dance floor video that I've uploaded before this one. Now let me show you this jacuzzi that comes fully loaded with options. Well, actually, it's just one option, but that's still more than most jacuzzis in this game. In fact, this is one more jacuzzi than most people have in this game. But anyway, let me show you how it works. It's really quite simple. You press this button here over the green block and you get bubbles in the jacuzzi. All I'm doing here is replacing the floor with soul sand, which technically is going to give you this really awesome experience. Because, I mean, let's face it, who of us hasn't enjoyed a really nice Sunday afternoon standing up and bouncing on top of their jacuzzi? It's my favorite thing to do. So I hope that you will get to enjoy the same activity. This awesome basement starts with this awesome entrance. It's a clear glass floor, and there's not a clear way of how this is going to turn into an entrance. And really, if this were redstone, I wouldn't be able to make it so clean on the outside. Because this is all done by command blocks, I can just press a button, the floor vanishes, a really cool sound comes on, and then all these pistons fire up, bringing the stairs in front of me. Imagine having to do this with redstone. I believe that the entire underground of the house is going to be filled with wiring. But this is not a competition between command blocks and redstone. I'm just saying that to me, this is a lot easier, and I think it looks pretty cool. This huge set of command blocks right here is responsible for everything that happens down in the basement. Now, I promise you, I didn't go out of my way and just put a bunch of them like this for something lame. I think it's going to look really cool, and I think with the shader that I have in place right now, the effect is just going to be magnificent. So why don't we just go and check it out together? So let's go ahead and step downstairs, and we'll see that as we approach the entrance of the big room, something is going to happen. Tell me what you think, and I really want to hear your honest opinion, because when I first saw this, I thought it was honestly the coolest thing I've personally built. Nothing here is really complex, and this is what I kind of love about this, is that when you get close, the first thing that happens is that there's a layer a couple of blocks under the floor that gets completely replaced with redstone blocks, which meant that I can power exactly what I want whenever I want it. So I can place pistons, I can place lights, and they're all going to come on because that layer is going to turn into redstone blocks. The next thing that happens is that the ceiling starts to open. And that's made possible by the command blocks that are outside, which are replacing the ceiling one row at a time with glass blocks and making the sounds and everything. And it all happens when you get really close to the door. And if you step back and go all the way up the stairs, or I think halfway up the stairs, the ceiling is going to start to close. Maybe it's not the coolest part of the house, but I don't know. I really think so, and I liked it a lot. It looks perfect to me, other than that corner where you see all these command blocks. And those came from the dance floor because I built it after this room and I had no idea they were going to overlap. So, that's what you might call a design issue. And with that, I believe that I've showed you everything that I wanted to show you today. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did because I had a lot of fun building this house and then showing it off. So if you have, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you see my next video. And thanks again for watching.